Hi, I'm Tamara. I'm from Ruby Jam Fabric. Today I want to show you how I print on fabric using just freezer paper. This is just a poly poplin. It's quite lightweight. I've chosen sort of an off-white colour, and freezer paper, which it just looks like a roll of paper, but on the back side you see this very shiny plastic coating. That's traditionally used to prevent food like meat from getting freezer burn. I've never used it that way. I've always just used it in my craft. It's great for using as for tracing your patterns. If you're, for example, small pattern pieces like bucket hats, if you're going to use it over and over, you can draw out your pattern, iron it onto your fabric, and then very easily chop it out, peel it straight off, and reuse it. It's brilliant like that. So always iron not the shiny side, that's your plastic side. If you like your iron and want to keep using it, iron on the matte side. So what we'll do here, I've got my fabric, that's the right side, that's the wrong side. Pop my freezer paper down on top, pull that out, and we're going to just iron that straight on. So I'll just bring my mat over. Please excuse my children yahooing in the backyard, but that's what happens when you're working. So you just got one of those really neat ironing pads, like a travel iron thing, and my trusty iron, which doesn't quite reach the power point. There we go. And it's sort of set a little bit hot. There we go, it's already sticking. And it peels off again really easily. Now, with your freezer paper, it comes in two size rolls. It comes in a 50-foot and a 75-foot roll. The smaller one is plenty. Really, you don't need the bigger one unless you're really using it for tracing out patterns. You probably don't need the extra width, but it's really handy to have. Once you start using it, you'll use it all the time. We also sell it by 2 metre pieces for a few dollars if you need a small piece, which 2 metres does go a long way. It's plenty to do these sort of projects for a while. There we go. That's all pressed on. Just make sure that's well on. There we go. We don't want it to come off. Now, all it's doing is it's just going to carry our fabric through the printer. We're not actually printing on the freezer paper. So once you peel this off, you can just use it again. It's brilliant. Artists use it as a like a temporary palette. They can put their paints on it and then throw it away. You use it in stenciling. Quilters love it. It's a really great tool to have in your sewing kit. Okay, so that is all pressed on. Just turn my iron off. So I don't burn the house down. Okay, and you'll see it's stuck, and it does peel off really easily. So using just a regular A4 sheet of paper, I just want to use that as a template because it's going through my DeskJet printer and I want it to be smaller than A4. You can print on little odd shapes. Sticking to A4 is good because it's easy to line up your artwork as well in your favourite program. I just use Word, to be honest. You can get as fancy with this as you like. So what I'm doing today, I'll show you. I made my children, who can't read, they're only little, a couple of zippered bags. And this is for putting all the Kinder Surprise toys in, all those awful Woolworths Ushies, the tiny little figurines and all that sort of stuff that we step on every day that ends up in the vacuum cleaner or under the lounge. Where else do you put it? So we made these little zippered bags, but I made quite a few of them. The kids have got no idea what's going in what. So if I print a picture of their toy and we applique it onto the front of the bag, there's hopefully no excuses to why they haven't packed up. Yeah, I live in hope. Okay, so just coming across here don't have to be too precious with it. No one's got time for that. I'm just using a little 28mm rotary cutter, which I quite like. I prefer them over the 45, so I feel like I've got a bit more control over it when I'm cutting, and I'm really just eyeballing this. There we go, get that bit out. And just to make sure it is a bit more narrow than my A4. Perfect, so we'll just clean this little bit up. I'm just squaring it off on my mat so I can see that it's not going to upset my printer. Now, you do not need anything fancy for this. As far as printers go, you can just use a DeskJet. I have a very, very cheap, it was about $30, Hewlett Packard DeskJet, which I'll show you shortly. and that's perfect for this little craft. So that's my, he won't be able to tell, but that's my fabric side, that's my freezer paper side, and let's go and print on it. So I've already set up my document, which has a couple of little images that I want to print onto my fabric. I've put the piece of freezer paper that's already been ironed onto the fabric. I've put that into the manual feeder so that it prints on the fabric side, not on the freezer paper side. You actually want to print directly from your printer onto the fabric. So let's just see if I can get this to print now. Okay. Here we go. You see I've flipped one of my images to the side. That's purely just so that I can fit as much on as I can without having to rinse and repeat this. Okay, so we've printed our images out, which looks pretty fun. I can feel that's on that's the paper side. That's my fabric side, and it's so easy just to peel it straight off, just like that. And there we have it. That's my fabric, all ready to go, all ready to be appliqued. I've got my Doc McStuffins and a bit of Fireman Lego and Polly Pocket and all the other things I vacuum up every day. I'll chop these out. I'll just probably do pinking shears around it and just stitch them straight onto their little zippered bags. And they'll be happy, Mummy will be happy, and I got some crafting today, which is always good.